Hey guys, it's Mario here. I'm in Valencia, Spain right now, and as you can see, it's a very beautiful day here. Let me show you guys a little bit of the shot of the cathedral and the surrounding area. It's actually pretty awesome, quite touristy as well. I'm in a little bit of a philosophical mood today, so I decided to share with you a couple of thoughts that have been on my mind recently, and they're on like passivity, hard work, and simple consistency. So one thing is that you guys notice that in today's world, we have a lot of passive people. We have a lot of people who are not doing much. We have a lot of people who are just living day to day, and they're kind of hiding, you know, they're not expressing themselves, they're not going for what they want. They simply live by some standard that is like it's someone else's design, or they're just not trying to do anything, so they're not even trying to take action, right? And we know these people, and I was one of these people, and I was very passive. And I kind of led this to be like a thought experiment in my head, you know, like that's one of these things. I mean, I really think a lot, you know, that's one of my qualities. I always like to think a lot. And I was thinking, well, why is someone passive and I'm so active? Like, why am I so active now when I used to be so passive? And what it really came down to is like lack of control, right? That's the problem, because we live in a time where there's so much information. You're being bombarded by non-stop information, and then you can't keep up. And the only real way you can keep up is to kind of shelter yourself and to limit the exposure, and that will kind of give you an illusion of control. And you get that illusion of control by running away from reality. And that's like one of those things that I found myself doing when I was playing video games, when I was really running away from reality. It was just one way for me to express that I have control, because as human beings, we urge that feeling of control. And when I was playing World of Warcraft, when I was playing these video games, I had a feeling that I had full control over what I was doing. And that was a really interesting thing there. So I want you guys to think about this a little bit. And when you see passivity, when you see a lack of action, it's really like that people, first off, they're afraid to fail, right? And failure will kind of result again in that feeling that you're lacking control. But again, it's like there's so much information being bombarded at them, so they don't know where to start. And people today, they like to know everything that's going to happen, kind of, you know. We're like in that kind of situation where if we're going to go into something, if someone is going to a diet, you know, they always ask me, man, like, okay, what's the timeline? You know, when can I expect to see results? When can I, like, if I want to lose 5 kilos, what can I expect in 2 months, in 3 months, in 4 months, in 6 months? We want specifics, and we want like the exact road to be outlined for us to get that sense of control. And is that really a good thing? And that's something I wonder, like, if I knew how hard this shit would be, if I knew how hard some of the stuff that I've done in my life would be, if I really knew, if someone told me in the beginning, hey, this is what you have to go through right now, and you're gonna have this, I would probably not do most of the stuff that I'm really grateful for that I went through. And that's something that I want to pose you a question as well, like, how do you feel like if you already knew all the hard stuff you had to do, if you knew how it would end up, how hard it would be, how hard you had to work, how much frustration you had to go through to achieve that thing? Because really at a certain point, you have to reach the level of frustration. If you haven't reached the level of frustration, whatever the hell you're learning, doing, and trying to improve yourself in, you're not there yet. You're not working hard enough. When you're working hard enough, that's a sign. How do you know, like, how do you know if you're working hard enough? Like, so the way I know is that I reach a level of frustration. And that level of frustration is my conscious mind just can't process the amount of information anymore. So I have to use my subconscious mind. It has to be stored in subconscious mind to be automated for my conscious mind to get new information. That's how you know that you're working and practicing hard enough, because once you get that overload feeling, at that point you're like, okay, this is enough. At this point, that is enough. That is the point where you want to be. That is the point where you have to be if you're trying to learn stuff. If you're really if you're really honest with yourself, you know if you reach that point or not. You know if you're working hard or not. But going back into the point of like the simple passivity, is that I truly believe it's a fear of lack of a control, like not accepting the fact that you can't control life. Like someone who doesn't pursue their passion is someone who is like stuck in a shitty job They don't want to quit the job because they're going to lose that control. Like, they're not going to have control. It's going to become unpredictable. There's a risk of failure. There's a risk of this and that. But what is the fucking risk? Like, look at the world around you. I mean, this is the best time to be living in. There's absolutely no risk. There was never any risk. You know, the whole risk is an illusion. The only risk is really having regret, like having not taken the chance. You know, that's the only risk you can possibly have. And if you look at what people are like saying at the end of their lives at their deathbeds, you know, the first thing they say is like, hey, I wish I pursued more of my passion and not lived my life by someone else's design. And these are super, super powerful things, and that's something I really wanted to share with you guys. And the second point that I really wanted to make is a point of consistency, how I'm able to maintain consistency with different things, as I think that's like my only skill that I'm really proud of, right? That's the only skill that I'm really investing the most of my time in, and guys don't realize that, but I'm spending like most of my energy and time into consistency. I don't believe in anything else but consistency. So I don't believe in perfection. I don't believe in that you can like reach perfection. I don't believe in like any like ideal end, that like a skill set or anything. I just believe in consistency. I feel like with consistency you kind of solve 98% of the problems, and then that last final 2% is like a cherry on top, kind of a little bit of finer details to the whole picture. But if you don't have consistency, you're in big trouble if you try to achieve anything in your life. So we know good things take time, and time to, like, is basically consistency. So the idea I want to share with you on consistency is the idea of having no 0 days. What is a 0 day? And that's a day that I was having a lot in the past, is that I would go by and I wouldn't do anything in my areas of my life. So if I look at 4 areas of my life, like that's my purpose, my relationships, my health, and my business, right? That's kind of the 4 areas of your life that if you want to generalize. And the point is that non-0 day is where you would do at least one little tiny thing in each area of your life. Like a 0 day would be not doing anything in any area of your life. So basically, 1 push-up is better than 0 push-ups, right? So that's really what it means to have a non-0 day. It means that you're gonna choose to do that push-up. You're gonna choose to have that one healthy meal for your health. You're gonna choose to reach out to one person to strengthen the relationship or do something for someone. You're gonna do one thing to improve your business, to improve your skills. You're gonna do one thing to work on your purpose. And that is really what it's important here, is that as you accumulate those non-0 days, so I'm not saying that you have to like make it a grandiose, awesome day where you accomplish a lot, but just make it a non-zero. Just do one thing. Just do one tiny little thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. You know, like if we ask someone, hey, let's why don't you clean the house? You know, they're gonna be like, holy shit, I don't want to do that, because in your mind you have like you have the paralysis of like completion. You think of it like you think of every little single step that you have to do. But if you really think about it, what is cleaning the house? Okay, taking out the garbage. Is taking out the garbage once a problem? Probably not so much. It's like, I don't know, putting detergent on the window and like swiping it a couple of times. Is that a problem? Not really, you know. It's like cleaning up your table a problem? Not so much, you know. But if you say, let's clean the house, you know, you think about it, you have to do all of these things, and then you get paralyzed, and your emotional side of you, it's like being overwhelmed, right? Your emotional side wants small wins. Your emotional side wants to baby step things. That's why you want to chunk this. And what I'm doing here by having non-zero days, by focusing on non-zero days, is I'm really baby stepping my way to consistency and to momentum, right? And once I get there, I know that I'm going to be able to achieve other things easier because I have that consistency. Even if I did 1 push-up for like 7 days in a row, I know that from that point, when I master the 1 push-up consistency, I can easily double that to 2 push-ups, right? And I can easily double that to 4 push-ups as I keep mastering, and soon I'll be doing 100 push-ups, right? And that's just the way it is, like mastering that consistency and focusing on those non-zero days. So these are some of the things that I really want to share with you guys. I know it's like all over the place, a little bit of a philosophical mood here in Valencia, Spain. Been reading a lot of books lately, watching a lot of cool stuff online, and I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. It's really sunny here, awesome place. Hope you guys get a chance to see all the cool stuff that I did. When you travel at some point, definitely check out Spain, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And let me know in the comments below, actually, I was thinking of adding 1 day extra per week, like one day, to make it like a philosophical day where I can just share some of my ideas with no pressure to make it a very structured video, no pressure to make it some kind of grandiose video, just so I can express myself and tell you guys what I'm currently thinking about, what is kind of on my plate, what is on my mind, some of the, I guess, more original ideas that I'm really thinking about and drawing from inside of my mind, rather than like talking about stuff that I guess you read somewhere in the books and things like that, because I'm sure that my ideas won't be like 100% original, but nothing is really 100% original if you want to look at it like that. But I feel like that would give you guys a chance to get to know me better, and I will also be able to express myself a little bit more and give you one side of myself, which is a really strong one, where I believe in self-improvement, personal development, really on that philosophical side of things, where I just want to share some of the life lessons that I'm getting along the way in this journey. So let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in something like that, so I can add this to my schedule of making videos. And you guys know that I love information, I love to give out content, so like pretty good structured based on evidence. These would be a little bit less structured, based more on like my personal experience and more on things that are like more self-development, kind of more like philosophy, like a life philosophy kind of thing. So let me know in the comments below what do you think about that. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.